Best friend or worst enemy? What role do you play in your own life? Oh, I got a rooster out the window there. Anyways, good morning, everybody. My name's Mark, and welcome to another episode of Morning Motivations. Today, I want to talk about a very serious topic. What role do you play in your life? You know, there's been times in my life when things weren't as well as they are right now. And not that I'm on top of the world or anything like that. I got problems, I got struggles, I got challenges that I'm dealing with in my life, just like many of you are dealing with in your life. I by no means have arrived, but I have made some progress. There was times in my life that I was my absolute own worst enemy. And the things I was doing to myself, the harm I was causing to myself, the damage I was creating, would have been a crime if it had been anybody else doing this to me. But it wasn't anybody else doing it to me. It was me. I am right where I am today because of my own decisions. And you are right where you are today because of your own decisions. When we heal, it also means taking a look at the role we play in our own life. You know, a lot of y'all know, or maybe those of you who are new to the channel don't know, but when I was a kid, I got wrapped up in some foolishness, and they sent me to prison for a crime I did not commit. I was 18, and I spent 11 years in the Florida Department of Corrections for a crime that I did not commit. And I'm not going to get into all that right now because I do have a series of videos that are upcoming where I'm going to go into a lot of detail regarding that. So be sure and stay tuned to the channel. But I will say this. I got out in 2003. I was 29. And man, I had the whole world ahead of me. Now, I did have a record, and I did have some black marks against me that were kind of challenging to overcome. But I had a series of jobs. I walked out on most of them, and I made bad decisions. And from there, I couldn't get jobs, so I got into selling cocaine. And then I got into doing cocaine. And man, did my life ever take a downward spiral. I'm lucky to be here today. I'm lucky to be alive. At one point, I was probably shooting $500 worth of cocaine in my arm a day at my worst point. And there was a lot of things going wrong in my life at that time. A whole lot of things. I can remember near about every other day I'd drive down the road and I'd get stopped by the cops. And it wasn't anything I was doing on the road necessarily. They wasn't stopping me for speeding. They wasn't stopping me for a broke tail light or any of these kind of things. I used to pull a trailer, and they'd stop, want to inspect my load, or just silly reasons. I remember one time I got stopped for no tag light. And then the cop gave me a warning. And when he left, I got out and I checked my tag light and it worked perfectly. You know, just getting stopped for no reason. But it was the lifestyle I was living that was inviting all this into my life. Since I turned my life around, since I quit doing cocaine back in 2008, I've not been stopped by the law since. Not one time. Not for nothing silly, not for nothing. And I remember back then, man, I had bad credit. I had bad credit. Now I have decent credit. I can remember not being able to get a vehicle and having to ask a family member to co-sign for me. Now I own 2 vehicles. I can remember having no place to stay. I was living in my car, or I was staying on a friend's couch, or this or that. I've had a place to stay now for several years. You know, as you begin to make better decisions, then your life will follow suit. Um, I was talking to my cousin one day about what was going on in my life. This was back in the day. And I remember her telling me, she says, Mark, you could really make some progress if you would just get out of your own damn way. And, you know, it took me a while to get out of my way. And I imagine there's probably people out there who's watching this video who might need to get out of their own way. And if you're not somebody who needs to get out of your own way, you're probably somebody who used to be in your way, and now you figured out how to get out of your way. We and the life we live is the sum of all the decisions we've made. So I want to encourage you. You know, the bottom line is you are responsible for you. You're responsible for the thoughts that you entertain. You're responsible for the words you say. You're responsible for the actions you take. You're responsible for the outcome of your life, whether it's an upward trajectory or whether it's a downward spiral. You are responsible for you. You know, when I was I can remember I fell when I was 18. When I say fell, I mean I went to prison. And the first couple years I was in, man, I had this attitude against the whole world. I was in this place for something I didn't do. I was upset. I was mad, and I didn't care about a single one of them people's rules. Man, I would fight. I would drink prison wine. They called it buck. I drink buck. I would smoke weed in prison. I was in prison. And I was still breaking all the rules, and I was going to confinement in prison. So even though I was in prison, they were still locking me up in confinement because I couldn't get things together. And I remember I turned 21. I was in a confinement cell, and I was laying on a bottom bunk in confinement, and that's where I spent my 21st birthday. And I remember then I kind of took inventory of my life. And at that point, I had a driver's license. And I had managed to take the GED test and get my high school diploma while I was in the county jail. But for 21 years of living, the only thing I had accomplished was a driver's license, a GED acquired in the county jail, and a 22-year prison sentence. Now, the fact that I didn't do that crime was irregardless. I was places I shouldn't have been. I was hanging out with people I shouldn't have been hanging out with. And I was involved in activities I shouldn't have been involved in. And all of that led to the circumstances that I found myself going to prison for. And I decided there wasn't anything I could do about being in prison and the waste of my life that was. I spent my entire 20s in prison. But there was definitely something I could do to not let that be a waste of my time. It was a waste of my life, but I wasn't going to let it be a waste of my time. So after they let me out of confinement and I was 21, they transferred me to another institution. I immediately got involved in education. I got involved in a vocation program. I got involved in a therapeutic community. It was called Tier. They at different institutions they had different programs: Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. It was like it was kind of like a drug rehab inside the prison. And it was a year-long program, and they had us take personal inventory of ourselves, and it was a therapeutic community. And I began to make changes in my life. I still had that time to do. I still had to walk that out. But I enrolled in college, and I began to get college credits while I was there. I went from vocational to vocational to vocational. I changed my entire outlook. I changed my entire trajectory. Now, while I was in there, there was also people who didn't care to do anything. They wouldn't study, they wouldn't learn, they wouldn't read, they wouldn't do anything except just let the time do them. They would do day for day for day, and every day was the same, and there was no hope for these people. They were their own worst enemy. Me, I was trying to be my best friend, and I was trying to help myself. After I got out, unfortunately, I was unable to continue that upward trajectory, and I began a downward spiral. And it took me some time, but I turned things around, and I began to work out of that hole I had put myself in, and I started my own business, and eventually I started another business, and then another business. I started writing books, and I had the idea to do this YouTube channel and began to tell my story and relate my experiences, and maybe put myself out there for other people to learn from. Maybe somehow, some way in this video, I can help somebody. And that's where my life is at today. I want to help. I want to inspire. I want to encourage. And I don't live a life today. The question that I have for you today, I want you to ponder. Are you your own best friend? Are you doing things to help yourself, to achieve your goals, to further your progress? Are you doing things you can look in the mirror tomorrow and be proud of? Or are you your own worst enemy? Are you causing yourself unnecessary headache, drama, problems? I want you to think about that today. You know, we all have time and choices. That's really what it all comes down to. And the wiser we are with both of those things, the better our life will be. That's kind of what Up Your Averages means. It stands for. It's about improvement, self-improvement every single day. And that's what I aim to do with this channel. So ask yourself, with every decision you make, are you being your friend or are you being your enemy? Now, if you got any value at all out of this video, I appreciate if you like it. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I appreciate that. Helps get the word out to other people. And talk to me in the comments below. I'll talk to you. Tell me what it is you're going through, what you're struggling with. I'll be happy to talk with you and share experiences with you. But if you're interested in today's thought, it came from my book, Up Your Averages, a daily guide on how to improve the quality of your life. And if you're interested, I'll put a link for it in the description below. And y'all have a wonderful day.